you for joining me on You the Mind podcast. Your Mind is Infinite podcast. Um, this is the official podcast of You the Mind company. Today, I have the CEO of You the Mind, Mo. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm okay. It's freezing here in Cleveland. It's really cold. We're entering winter season, so.
Today, Mo is here to talk about how computational neuroscience, applied physics, and humanitarian vision all converge to transform brain health globally.
Totally, yeah.
So from leading clinical trials across 4 continents to inspiring students from Neurons to startups, Mo is going to share how science, strategy, and compassion are shaping the future of neurotechnology.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'm super excited, Doreen.
So first question I'm very curious to ask, what inspired you to start You the Mind company?
Yeah, excellent question. So I started this company 8 years ago. I started this company when I was a student at the Ohio State University. And I was 20 years old at the time, which was a good thing and a bad thing. It was a good thing because I started the company very early in my adult career. And it was a hard thing. I won't say bad thing. It was a hard thing because it was all the experience I've ever known in my adult career my professional careers. So I started this company because I was actually dealing with my own mental health troubles. I had a bipolar disorder. I was diagnosed bipolar, and I was dealing with depression and mania. It wasn't severe, but it was affecting my life, and I did not like it at all. And I took many medications for it, and they did not help me at all. Like they made me like a zombie, which I really didn't like. I really didn't like that it made me a zombie. So I was studying neuroscience at the time at Ohio State. I always knew I was going to get into brain stimulation and neurotechnology. So I decided, you know what? Uh, I have to fix this problem myself. I have to fix this problem myself. And I built, my friends and we actually built a first device, and I started using it on my head, and it was scary because the first time I had the device, I was like scared, but I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? But then nothing really happened. Nothing really happened. Like I didn't get shocked or anything. So then I just, placed it on my head. And then 20 minutes later, I was really, really energized. I was like, my eyes open, everything was brighter. I was driving and smiling. I was like, this is weird. This is
So, so the device made you feel euphoric, basically?
Yeah.
Without medication.
Yeah. So that was the big thing. So then when the device made me euphoric, I said to myself, all right, let me keep using this. So I used it every single day for 15 minutes. And it was super interesting because back then, I'll share a little bit, but back then I had very negative thoughts, suicidal thoughts. And I remember one day, it was 3 weeks of using the device. And I was laying down on the couch after 3 weeks of using it. I was using it for 20 minutes a day. And in the image, it was the image of, always have the recurring image of taking a gun and putting it into my mouth and shooting. And in the image, at 3 weeks, the incident happened, and then I took my hand and pushed it down. And I've never done that before in the image. I've never done that before in the image. And I don't even know who did it. I was like, whose hand was that? I was like, it's like the image did it itself. I was like, I stood up. I was like, that never happened before. So that's when I knew something's up. Something's up with the device. And after 6 weeks of using it, I was feeling really, really energized and really, really focused. And it was at this 12-week mark when I realized, wow, this device is going to change everything. This device is going to change the world, and it needs to be in everybody's hands.
Okay. Well, can you tell me more how the device looks like, how it works? Because at first you said um you felt like it was going to shock you.
Yeah.
Does it shock, or does it send sound waves or waves in the
Yeah.
brain to create
So
that euphoric feeling?
this was actually the first device one of the first models we ever built. It was just a very simple thumbtack model, like you can buy it from the parts from an office store.
Mm.
And what you do is you feel these tingles. You feel these little tingles on your head, and that's how you know it's working, when you feel the tingles. We have larger models of the device for patients with Parkinson's disease. So because we need to target the motor cortex, so we need to target different areas of the brain for different diseases. So we target area up here called the motor lobe for Parkinson's disease, and we saw a lot of usefulness in those movement disorders. But yeah, it's a very simple technology. This is one of our older prototypes that I use right here. We're actually developing a newer model right now, and we just place the device on like this. You're done.
So it's a brain massage,
It's kind of,
right?
yeah, so it's kind of, yeah, you feel these tingles. You just feel these tingles.
Mm.
And people ask, do the tingles do anything? Well, yeah, over time, several
Mm.
weeks, a lot happens.
Okay, okay. Thank you for sharing that. Very insightful. Um, so let's talk about the global strategies and trials.
Yeah.
The Mind, is currently running trials in the US, Pakistan, Brazil, and DRC, right?
Mhm. So we are running many international trials. We have um, some case studies here in the US, as well as studies completed. We just completed a recent 26 patient study in Pakistan, and we have completed studies in Congo and in the Middle East. We are working right now setting up a study in Brazil, and we're working right now setting up another remote study here in the United States. That remote study should be accessible to the public because it's an open label study, meaning anybody can join the study
Mm.
the next few weeks. And we'll make a company-wide announcement and a public announcement when that study is available. But we've run several trials on several different types of disorders, mostly psychiatric. We've done psychiatric, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's disease with
Okay.
peer-reviewed publications.
Okay. So can you share with us the vision behind this global footprint that you have started?
What's really important here is there is patients everywhere. There are patients with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, as well as depression, bipolar, all over the world. It's not just the USA.
Yeah.
And we have an international team. We have people in Sierra Leone, we have people in India, people in the Middle East, people in Latin America, scattered
Mhm.
across the US, working together to be able to grow this company. We are fascinated by the international demographics because they allow us to support people while also collecting data to be able to help expand globally. For
Okay.
example, the data that we collect in Pakistan helps us with patients in India, which helps us with patients in the USA, which helps us with patients in Mexico. So every single data point that we collect internationally helps all the patients across the globe.
Okay. 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 I get the system now. I understand. But what has been the most surprising or inspiring outcomes from these trials?
We have seen some significant clinical effects in Parkinson's disease, and we captured it on video, showing reduction in tremors and improvements in how the patients are walking. We also saw very powerful effects on the Alzheimer's disease brain using fMRI or functional magnetic resonance imaging. These are types of imaging scans that look at blood flow inside the brain. The most surprising thing was that we've noticed that our technology is clinically effective, and it is very cost effective for patients. So not only does we see from our initial data that it's working, but we're also seeing that it doesn't cost a lot to be able to provide it for patients. And that is really, really important to make this technology accessible for everybody worldwide.
What makes your approach to Parkinson's treatment and the other disorders different? Apart from the fact that it's technological, but what makes it different from the other approaches out there, other methods?
It's a great question. So a lot of approaches to treating these neurodegenerative diseases are pharmacological in nature, meaning they require medication, and that medication needs to cause a chemical reaction in the brain or body to then result in treating the symptoms of the disease or treating the root cause of the disease. And the big difference with our technology is that we're not focused on treating the chemistry of the brain. We're focused on modifying the electricity of the brain. All brain processes can be reduced down to electricity. So we have this phenomenal equation, Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, right? You've heard of that?
Yes.
So this equation talks about energy equals matter.
Okay.
And so these chemical reactions, these biochemical elements inside the brain are matter. It's an M. It's an M. And the M comes up from an E. And that E is the electromagnetic field. So when we change the E with electricity, we then also change the M's. So all of these interventions that treat Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and any neurological disorder in the brain, they go after the M's. And we're not going after the M, we're going after the E. The E is a deeper concept in the brain.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you for that. But for people listening out there that are non-scientific, can you explain it like they're a toddler?
So the brain is like an orchestra, like a musical orchestra, a musical band.
Yes.
And in these diseases, with the band, the instruments are out of tune. And maybe one instrument is too high, the other instrument, the string is broken. What we do is we look at all the different instruments in the brain. They're all in different areas. And we balance them. We tune the areas in the brain with the electrical pulse, the electrical massage, the electrical wave to balance the instruments. So the orchestra plays better again.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes I understand that much better now. Thank you for that. But let's talk about Circle of Hope.
Sure.
The Circle of Hope initiative. Why is the humanitarian access such a core part of your strategy?
We understand that there are communities in the world that do not have access to medical resources. We also understand that even if they do have access to those resources, that there is an economic barrier to get those resources. It costs a lot of money. They don't have the funds to be able to support those treatments. And we are on a mission to provide healthcare equality across the globe. That means we prioritize a lot of our conversations and efforts in developing emerging nations, which are filled with talented engineers and talented healthcare workers and leaders. And we make sure to provide them resources and hope as we start to scale to be able to deploy our technology into those countries and make it cost effective enough such that they can afford it. So the Circle of Hope allows us to prioritize international work to be able to help those in need.
Okay, thank you. While we're on the Circle of Hope and humanitarian impact, can you tell me more about the initiatives you have in Africa and West Africa and how it will benefit through Hope Perks and RX Games?
Yeah, so we just partnered with a company called RX Games. This is a technology company coming out of Ohio State University. And we are working with them to be able to deploy their system and games into the marketplace. So this is like a video game, and the video game has the camera on you, and you play the video game. And when you're playing the video game, you're actually doing an exercise. You're exercising your body in the video game, and it's really like a lot of work. You start sweating. It's an intense video game, but it works. So we are partnering with them to deploy their technology internationally as well as here in the United States. Furthermore, we have our Hope Perks initiative, which is super interesting. We just started it, piloted it out, where people can access discounts. They can get discounts to local stores, local grocery stores, and online stores by liking and sharing our posts. And the reason being is because we understand as a company, we need to market ourselves. We need to have our posts liked, we need to have our posts shared to be able to spread the word of our work. We also understand that we want to provide value to the customers and to the people reading those posts. So this is a way where we say, you give us one like and we give you $1, for instance, a like for $1. And we're super excited to scale this out a little bit more to evaluate how it's effective across millions of people.
Okay, but let's go back to the RX Games. You said it's an exercise, sort of like an exercise. Is it available on phones, laptops, or mobile devices? So maybe a tablet?
It's available on the iPhone, it's available on Androids, and it's available on Windows computers. We are advancing the softwares now such that they can be more accessible on a wide variety of devices. But you can go on your iPhone and type in RX Games on the App Store and download it, and just sign up and download it.
It's free?
It's free. The download is free. We are starting a subscription service for 20 USD a month for the app with physicians. But right now we're in a pilot phase, just testing it out before we expand some features. So we will have a charge for the service, but this charge is important. It's important to have this charge of 20 USD a month to allow us to then get money so we can deploy the product into more places.
Okay, thank you. How do you plan on balancing commercial goals with global health equity?
Really smart. And I'm actually really happy you went to that question. So a lot of people get mistaken that medical companies are in it just for the money. And that's not entirely true. The world and corporations in general need to have money to be able to hire doctors, educate nurses, provide vaccines and drugs and devices to people who are sick. So money is not bad. Money is a good thing because money allows us to help people. Okay. As a company, we cannot help people without money. We need to have money to hire the people. We need to have money to build the product. We need to have money to ship the product. And so what we do is we balance. We balance the revenue coming into the company with the tools and services that we deploy internationally.
Thank you very much for answering that. As we're rounding up, I just have a few more questions. When it comes to leadership and legacy, what's your philosophy on leading a multidisciplinary team across 6 continents?
So it's a very honorable position to be in. It's very humbling as well. It's a lot of work. I don't think people realize the amount of work it is. It's more work than you think. And it's scary because there's a lot of unknowns and mystery and uncertainty about the future. I'm very proud to lead the team, and I'm very proud to work for the team. Very proud to wake up every single day and put in my efforts to serve those around me. And the legacy I want to leave, I want people to recognize that anybody could do it. Okay, I want people to recognize the higher version of themselves. I want people to recognize that it is possible to achieve your dreams. And I hope to work till the day I die to be able to push that message.
That's a beautiful message. Thank you for sharing that. What can listeners do to support or engage with You the Mind company mission?
Absolutely. We have a lot of unique services that we provide. Depending upon your location. My first suggestion is if you're interested to please reach out to us on WhatsApp or through our contact form on our website. Furthermore, you can always leave a comment on one of our posts. We are very active on posting on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Please leave a comment so we can reach out and connect with you. And we hope to be part of your local healthcare ecosystem real soon, so you can start using our products and services at local clinics and local hospitals
across the different continents.
across the different continents, including USA.
Okay. One final question. I want to know your thoughts on the future of brain health and innovation.
Yeah. So right now, this world loves the idea of speed, faster, bigger, smarter. And a lot of people are interested in these brain health technologies, these brain technologies, as if the brain technology would allow them to be smarter and allow them to think faster. And my comment to the world is the more you try to chase a higher version of yourself, the more you try to grow, the more you realize that that higher version is right here, right now. Reading another 500 books will not validate your insecurities. Being able to speak 10, 20 languages and downloading them into your brain will not make you happy. Will make you happy for a little moment, but not long term. What's important is to look at the people around you and connect with humans again. Brain health technologies is a tool. The real truth of your happiness lies inside of you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that inspirational last word. Inspirational and motivational last word. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Yeah, this was fun.
Yes, and to know more about the company, the trials, and everything in between.
Absolutely. Doreen, you're doing an awesome job. I can't wait to join this podcast again.
I'll have you on soon, again
Yeah.
soon.
Awesome. Well,
thank you everyone for joining us on Your Mind is Infinite, the official podcast of You the Mind Company. I have been your host, Doreen Deigh, and remember, this show explores the future of brain and body intelligence through conversations with thought leaders, clinicians, researchers, and innovators. We are so excited to be sharing this with you, and we're so excited to have Mo, the CEO of You the Mind Company, here with us. Thank you very much for joining us, and till next time, bye.
Thank you.